Okay, here we are, lesson 7 within code.org Express Course 2020 version. Lesson 7 starts talking about loops and it uses the artist or sticker art. The key to this is to really pay attention to your directions up here. Make sure you're making use of your hints. For example, this one is just talking about the artist being in the wrong spot. And it starts making use of this command called jump versus move. Jump, think about this artist as holding a pencil. So when they jump, they are not drawing a line, whereas when they move, they are drawing a line. So for example, if I want to say jump to 200, 200, it's going to say 200 over, 200 down. It's just the number of pixels. If I hit right there to the middle. And then it wants me to draw a line that's 50 pixels long. So that's where I'm going to move instead of jumping and 1. Now, as I continue through these, I'm going to jump ahead to bubble number 3 here. And you can just continue listening and watching the directions on these, but reading the directions. This one, as I click through my hints, it's given me some directions here on how to use something called a pattern command. So if I hit run right now, the pattern that I need. And actually, what's really good is you can kind of see how is this being done. Take a look at how this pattern is being drawn. It's given to you like this. It's telling you to jump to 200, 200, which puts it to the middle. It's telling you to move forward by 50 pixels. And then it's telling you to turn right, which angles it. And then you're looping that whole thing so that the very first thing it does after looping is to jump back to the middle. But it has already turned itself by 60 degrees, and that's why it's ready to draw the next line, just slightly turned. For this particular one, though, it wants you to also add this set pattern. So we're going to look through here. I'm going to shrink down my directions. Set pattern, and I don't want the pattern to reset every single time it repeats, so I'm going to have it do it first. Have it pick that one. Hit run and go. Now, when we are ready to move on to lesson or bubble number 4, it points out, and a lot of people will miss this little link, this icon means that whatever you do in bubble 4 is going to link itself and continue on future bubbles. So if you go in here and do something on bubble 4 and then bubble 5, 6, 7, 8 along there, it's the same thing. So if you mess it up on the first bubble, it continues to be broken and messed up on all of those bubbles. And that goes for deleting it too. I've had students work all the way through these bubbles. They get to bubble 7 or 8 or wherever this link ends, and they decide, you know what, I'm going to delete all of this and start over. It deletes it for all of these linked bubbles. So don't accidentally do that to yourself. Right here, I'm just reading it, and it says, hey, I want you to jump to the middle center position, and then I want you to use a draw sticker button and draw something, doesn't matter what it is, and then hit run. There you go. Great. It's done. Notice it doesn't pop up and say you finished it. It doesn't say good job. It's just telling you, okay, you did it. Go ahead and click finish, and it will move you on to the next bubble. Notice bubble 5, and it has what I did previously, and now I'm just building on top of that. Again, it wants you to make use of a loop, kind of like how bubble number 1 had it looped, turning to the right by 60 degrees and doing things like that. Sometimes it's useful to go back to your previous bubbles to see how the heck was that done, and you can see how it was done in this one and apply it to this one to get it to do a loop. So for example, if I wanted to do a loop and then I want it to also maybe turn right, right? And maybe I want you to turn right by some amount of degrees, let's say 45 degrees. And then I want you to repeat that a whole bunch of time. All right, 4 is not going to be enough, but let's run it. Okay, so maybe 8 times. Let's see how that looks. All right, I like the way that looks. Great. I'm going to go ahead and hit finish and then move on to the next one. And that's how you work your way through lesson 7.